As you mentioned, the event comes amid anti-ICE protests and unrest in LA, and President Trump, as we know, deployed Marines and basically doubled the National Guard without a governor's request for the first time since 1965. So, from your expertise, can the president legally send troops to the cities that basically reject them?
Well, I think in this case, the problem is that the governor did not ask for the help, and that this whole thing is a manufactured crisis. I mean, all the different news agencies that I have watched or reports I've read indicate that what's going on is in a very small part of Los Angeles, which of course is a massive city. I mean, you got 4 million in the city of Los Angeles, and the greater metro area is like 12 million. It's enormous. And so something like this, when the president says it's an invasion, we have to liberate Los Angeles, that is ridiculous. And I think anybody that's using their brain is thinking like, okay, well, that makes no sense. So it's very inflammatory language by the president and the Secretary of Defense and the uh, Secretary for Homeland Defense, um, Homeland Security. They're saying things that are inflammatory, that are trying, like they're trying to justify or create a situation that could be handled, should be handled appropriately by the mayor and the governor. So to jump to this so quickly, that's why this is obviously a manufactured crisis. And the Marines, look, the National Guard is trained to do crowd control, civil disturbances, as well as dealing with fires or earthquakes or floods and other things. They're an asset for the governor, so they have training on how to do those things and the proper equipment. The Marines coming up from Camp Pendleton, these guys are combat forces. Chances of them having trained properly on how to deal with a riot, for example, pretty slim. And it also now creates a situation where potentially these young Marines, will be confronted with fellow American citizens in a situation for which they are not properly prepared, and legally they should not be there. So I really, I'm not surprised that the Secretary of Defense and the Secretary of the Navy, who has the civilian authority over the Marine Corps, would have caved to pressure from the administration. I am, uh, I would like to know what the Commandant of the Marine Corps. He's the equivalent to the Chief of the Army, Chief of the Air Force, Chief of the Navy, Commandant of the Marine Corps. Uh, Does is he is he confident that this was a legal order to send his Marines into Los Angeles? I don't see how it is, and I don't think the administration has made a case for it. But these are the kind of things that this administration is doing. They're putting senior officers in very difficult positions where maybe it's not entirely clear one way or the other, uh, and it's unnecessary.
Does this set a precedent for future federal crackdowns on protests, or no?
It certainly it has the feel of something that's being done where they're trying out different ways to do things to justify it. Um, and it doesn't help when you do have some protesters that are either flying Mexican flags or they're throwing rocks and they're lighting fires. That feeds the narrative because that gets captured in the news. And people say, look, it's out of control. Governor's not doing it. We got to go in and fix it. So I think that we'll see. The governor of California, I think, is doing the right thing. He's standing up, like defending his prerogatives as governor. And I think for him to sue the administration in court is the right thing to do. Other people need to be speaking out. I'm disappointed that so many members of Congress are sitting on their hands that they're not coming out saying that this is outrageous. Um, Also, I'm disappointed. I haven't seen a lot of retired military speaking up about this as being inappropriate as well.